I was not an easy person to deal with when you were treading on my privilege.
In the early to mid-20th century, the African American experience in Delaware was much different than it is today. A border state during the Civil War, Delaware remained in the Union, but with Confederate sympathies, and continued to practice slavery. Finally ratifying the 13th Amendment in 1901, Delaware remained openly segregated well into the 1950s. Racist practices varied across the state, creating different life experiences for African Americans, depending on where they lived. Raised on Maryland's Eastern Shore, Douglas Gibson eventually moved north to Delaware to find a career and a home.
My father was a sharecropper, and most of my life had been spent on a farm in the country. Nothing exciting, just living from day to day. And I had 3 or 4 brothers older than me that did the farm work with my dad. But my mother wasn't going to let me be one of my father's farmhands. I went to school in Talbot County, a little town called Trapp. We walked there. It was about a 3-mile walk. There was no buses for black students, so we had to walk to school for 7 years, and on the 8th year you went to Eastonton High School. Teachers were very good, and they were black teachers. There was no integration of any kind. The facilities were poor. The books were used. They had the names of all the other people that had used them, but we never had any new books. So we did the best we could, and that's all we knew, so we didn't feel that we were being neglected at the time. I had planned that when I got 17, I was going to enlist in the Navy, and that's just what I did. The Navy was highly segregated at that time, and that's all we knew about, so we just tolerated it. Didn't like it, but tolerated it. After World War II, we could have gone to the University of Maryland, which was segregated, and I didn't want no parts of that. So I came out and took the GI Bill, and I went on to Delaware State. I took an architectural class and did very well in that, and over the years I designed about 7 churches throughout this area. I did graduate work at the University of Delaware. I could buy a sandwich in the cafeteria, but I couldn't eat it, and I had to carry it out to eat it. It just showed me the ignorance of the whites at that particular spot and what the attitude was at that time. But we were determined to get an education because our money was going to the Delaware University at the time. There was a little place down in southern Maryland. It was a small town, strictly whites, and that was my first teaching job. And they were not used to having a black teacher in that county, in the school. So when they got over their dislike for blacks, they really liked me and they wanted me to stay there. But at the same time, I had concession of a yacht club. I could stay with the yacht club or stay with that job, so I arranged so I had both of them. I taught woodworking and mathematics, and I knew that Banneker was looking for a teacher. And in my field, I was the only one around qualified to teach that course. When I first started teaching here in Milford, blacks were shut down, and I was determined not to be that way. The superintendent got to a place where he liked me because he was afraid to deal with me. And he knew that if he got tough on me, I was going to pull the public in. Then I went down there to work at Del Tech. I taught architectural engineering, designing homes, commercial buildings, business buildings, residence, and all that. And I did a number of years down there, and I could see the value of my work when I got down there.